Have you ever wondered what's really going on inside a professional trader's head, right before some huge news is about to drop? It's way more than just staring at charts, I can tell you that. It's a full-on battle plan, not just for the market, but for their own mind. So let's pull back the curtain and dive into the disciplined process they use to get ready.
So what is their actual battle? Honestly, it's probably not what you think. It's not about being the smartest person in the room or having some kind of crystal ball. Nope, the real fight is much, much closer to home.
You see, it all starts with the inner game. Before a single chart gets analyzed, before a single headline is read, the most important prep work happens right inside their own head.
For a lot of pros, the day kicks off with an affirmation just like this one. But listen, this isn't some fluffy, feel-good, positive thinking trick. It's a core belief system. It's about deciding up front that every single outcome, whether you win or you lose, is just another lesson on the path to mastering yourself.
Because at the end of the day, the real fight is always internal. It's you versus you. It's that constant battle between sticking to your plan and letting emotions like fear and greed grab the steering wheel. A pro knows, deep down, the only thing they can ever truly control is their own discipline and their own actions. That's it.
And this right here, this is a fundamental shift in perspective. For most people, being wrong means losing money. Simple as that. But for a pro, you're only wrong if you break your own rules. Think about that. If you follow your plan perfectly and the trade still loses, well, that's just the market doing its thing. The real failure is abandoning your discipline.
All right, so with that mindset completely locked in, let's turn our attention to the outside world. Let's set the stage for the massive economic event that is everyone on the edge of their seat.
Today is Non-Farm Payrolls Friday. This is one of the biggest, most volatile, market-moving reports on the entire calendar. Simply put, it's a snapshot of how many jobs were created or lost last month. Think of it like a huge health check for the U.S. economy. The market literally holds its breath for this number.
And you can really feel the tension that's been building up. Just look at this trend. Job growth has been getting weaker and weaker every single month since April. The numbers have been consistently dropping, and that's creating a whole lot of uncertainty. So the expectation for today's report is just 75,000 new jobs. I mean, to put that in perspective, that's barely anything. It really feels like the market is walking a tightrope right now, just waiting to see if the economy is about to stumble or if it can find its footing. Which of course brings us to the million-dollar question that every single trader is asking. Is this whole downward slide just a temporary blip, or is this the first real warning sign of a serious economic slowdown? That uncertainty is exactly why going into today without a rock-solid plan just isn't an option. Okay, so to build that plan, a trader has to become a bit of a detective. They have to zoom in, pick apart yesterday's trading session, and look for any clues in the price action that could give them an edge. And yesterday told a really fascinating story. You see, the market dipped early, hitting a key low around 10 a.m., but the sellers just couldn't hold it down. Right after lunch, this slow, grinding, determined climb began, and it pushed the market all the way up to a super strong close. And then, an hour later, it opened even higher, creating what traders call a gap.
So what's the big takeaway from all that? Well, the clues are pretty clear. It shows that sellers tried to take the market down, and they failed. Buyers were in complete control by the end of the day, and all that bullish energy seems to be carrying right over into today.
So, now for the most important part. How do you take all of this, the mindset, the economic picture, yesterday's story, and turn it into a plan you can actually use? Well, you synthesize every single detail to build a series of very specific if-then scenarios. Now, it's super important to understand this plan is not a prediction. It's a roadmap. It's built around key price levels. You can think of them as lines in the sand, or maybe signposts on a highway. They are the critical spots on the chart that will tell a trader who's really in control, the buyers or the sellers. So here's what that looks like in practice. The first major signpost on the upside is 23,800. So if the market can break above and actually hold that level, then that's a clear signal that yesterday's strength has real power behind it. Okay? If it clears that hurdle, then the next big target is 24,000. That big round number acts like a magnet, and getting there would be a massive psychological victory for the buyers. See? It's a clear, conditional path forward. And finally, all of this preparation, every single piece of analysis we've just talked about, is all governed by one ultimate unbreakable rule. This is the principle that ties the mindset, the data, and the plan all together.
A trader's job isn't to think. It isn't to predict. It's to trade what they actually see happening right in front of them. Now, that sounds so simple, right? But it is incredibly hard to do. It's all about reacting to the evidence the market gives you, not getting stuck on what you believe should happen.
And that right there is the entire point of this whole process. The mental game, understanding the data, mapping out all the key levels, it is all designed to do just one thing: to strip away all the emotion in opinion, so that a trader can just see clearly and act decisively on their plan with zero hesitation.
You know, that kind of discipline goes so far beyond the trading world. I mean, whether you're in business or science or really anything, the challenge is exactly the same. So I'll just leave you with this to think about. In your own life, how can you build a process to separate what you think should be true from what the evidence is actually showing you?